Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to warmly welcome you to the 2024 Future Africa Investor Summit and Accelerate Africa Demo Day.
As Africa's startup ecosystem has evolved over the last 10 years, we have heavily relied on global stages such as YC or Techstars to showcase our best startup.
But as the macroeconomic environment changed, you had pandemic happen, right? You had issues with now inflation, you had issues with supply chains, and you had a lot of investors saying, we're not going to be investing as much money. And when that happened, we had to reflect and say, well, maybe we should be doing something different. Maybe we should be coming up with the solution for ourselves. And so that's kind of the birth of where we got to with this full accelerator program, Accelerate Africa. We want to be the ones building the program that is actually built by African founders for African founders.
The chances of building an international company, a very successful international company, a unicorn, from anywhere in the world, especially Africa, has gone up by something like 1,000%. And I believe that some of those companies are here in Africa, in Lagos, in Nairobi, in Johannesburg. It's super important for us to solve these African and world problems by the people who experience them. So I think the African problems can be generalized to the world.
So the program is structured in 8 weeks. In this cohort, we had 10 founders participate.
With business development, things like introductions to key customers, introductions to banking partners have gone a long way in really propelling the growth of startups during the 8-week period.
From our experience working with startups, we understood that founders go through a couple of challenges while building their products.
The key is who are you building this for? Who are these customers? What's the validation that you've done? And what are the feedback mechanisms that you put back into your product to make sure that you're building a human-centered product? This, I think, is the difference that will make a product that a founder has long-lasting and impactful.
Through the Accelerate Africa program, we are not just positioning founders for funding, but we are helping them set the right tools to help them navigate their business right from the early stage of the business that will take them through the growth stage.
The founders are passionate about their ideas, helping them to convert those ideas to numbers, or in some cases, validating those numbers. I've seen light bulb moments, where people realize that, oh, I've actually not been thinking about this fantastic idea, in the right way. Now I see the cash flow. I see where the money is going to come from. I think that experience for me has been profound. Just being able to add value to these firms, boarding firms from a finance perspective.
I think Accelerate Africa is different from almost any other accelerator that I've seen or even been a part of, because I think it's one where the advisors and the partners really go deep in the trenches with the founders.
And something that's been important for us is how can we bring tangible experiences? How can we bring people who've built businesses on the continent, who've led big businesses on the continent, so that they come in with that practical and real experience that they can then share with the founders so that they know it's real, that it's not theoretical, that they can see people who they want to be like.
It's an accelerator of friendships, and it's one that developed organically between the founders and the advisors, founders and founders, and the relationships that they've built with one another are really what's at the foundation of this program, because it has allowed the founders to be receptive to the feedback that they've gotten from advisors. It's allowed them to coach one another. it's been an experience of evolution for the startups that we've worked with. From the very first applications that we received, we saw a group of startups that were just trying to find their feet. They were very confused about what they were trying to build.
These 10 founders, 6 Nigerian, 4 from across the continent, Eswatini, Kenya, Egypt, came together and created pure magic, transformed right before our very eyes from, just founders that were coming in a little unsure, with stories not quite cooked, with teams that weren't as forged in fire as they've now become, coming in with businesses that weren't sure where the next $1 million would come from, weren't quite sure what their product could look like at scale, at global scale, and finally worried about whether investors would take them seriously.
And after 8 weeks, you can see them talk about what they're building and what they've set out to do with a lot more confidence and conviction.
And now we have 10 of the most confident, incredible companies that I've ever seen. And I say this as somebody who's seen thousands of companies and has invested in hundreds of them.
When you're with founders and you're seeing their experience and you're seeing the light bulbs, you're seeing them change parts of their business, it's amazing and it's an incredible experience to be part of.
When founders start the program, they often think, wow, this 8 weeks is just too short. But the amount of growth that they've experienced in the program is testament to the program's success.
I think I'm so excited to see what the future of Accelerate Africa is. In the next 5 to 10 years, I have absolutely no doubt that Accelerate Africa will be the undisputed YC of Africa.
And ultimately, my hope is that this will accelerate Africa. That's exactly what the name is. And that's exactly what we will do.
What E is putting together will have the collective of investors across the continent come and queue for the pipeline of startups. So I say congratulations to you, and we are watching out for more. Thank you.
So it's been a long time, right? It's been a couple of months. We've gotten to spend an incredible amount of time with these founders. And the transformation that we've witnessed is not just them, but also for us. This is the first time that we're hosting this kind of a program. So thank you.
The future is going to be built in Africa, by Africa.